And the other one is the copy of our annotated bylaws so that you can find where the changes have been. So I counted 30 people just halfway up this row here, so I'm declaring that we have a quorum. And I do not see any of our board members. Diane Williams is here. Thank you, Diane. Let's give her a pen. Okay, still more volume needed. Can't hear that well. Okay. All right. Let's see if it's just this microphone. Is that better? Okay. Thank you. I was surprised recently that people didn't really know who our executive committee members were, so most of them are here. I was just kind of checking the roll, and so I'm going to ask each of them to stand as I call their name so you can see them and see who they are, and then at the end we'll do a round of applause to thank them. So of course I'm your president, Julie Brooks. I'm sorry? Somebody still can't hear? Oh, you need an agenda. Okay. Julie Brooks is, they're getting more, they have them back there. Julie Brooks is our vice president. Sharon Verlander, you probably know because she's our treasurer, and you see her every one of these meetings. And then Andy Reeves. Okay, Andy, would you stand? Thank you. And Sharon, would you stand? Where's Sharon? There you are. Okay. Designated John McGee. And designated Jim Woodrick. There he is. Charlie McEwen, I know he's back there with the bar. Abby Kenigsberg, I saw Abby earlier. There she is. Stay standing, please. Robert Juarez is back in the left. There you go. Nancy Collins. I haven't seen Nancy. There she is. Kay Forgeon is right here. And Roland Cook. Is Roland here?
There he is.
All right. These are your executive committee members. Thank you for your service. John McGee and Jim Woodrick and I are the three designated board members, so we attend the board meetings of Westminster, the big board, the community board that Diane is representing here today. And there is a meeting the last Thursday of that board every month. Now, it's quite a bit of work, and then each of us serve on anywhere from 2 to 4 committees. Chuck, of course, staffs, but facilitates and does an outstanding organizational job on that. So we can usually stay within an hour for the finance committee and an hour for the board meeting. And the only pay that our board members get is a fantastic lunch that Westminster provides for them. And that they're pretty happy about that. Most of them serve, though, because they have family and friends that either have lived here or are living here now, and so we are just so very honored to have people from this community that will serve with their expertise as volunteers like that. So and next time I'll get a handout of who they all are. I should have had that today too. That is being posted on the portal. We're updating and posting all of this kind of information on the portal. Okay, recognition of new residents. Any new residents that are here today, especially any for first time, please stand. Okay. Andy Reeves to present our minutes from the last meeting of the membership, which was December 16th.
Sorry. It's a powerful finger, isn't it?
Hi, I'm Andy Reeves, and I would like to move that we accept the minutes from the December quarterly meeting.
Can you look in your packets? It's the, flip over and let me give you just a minute to look at them if you haven't.
Second motion.
Who was that?
Paul.
Okay, Paul seconds. Which Paul? Oh, Youngdale. I should know that. Paul seconded almost every motion of our executive committee when he was on it. Okay. Any questions or comments or edits? Okay, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? The minutes are approved.
Thank you.
And now, Sharon Verlander, if you'll present the treasurer's report.
In your copy, you have a copy of the first quarter balance sheet of the WRA and the year-to-date profit and loss. I'm going to request acceptance of this report.
Charlie moves acceptance. Charlie McEwen moves acceptance. Any questions? Yes, John? Okay. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? They've been accepted, Sharon.
Thank you very much. In the past, I have always stated that if you have any questions, my phone number's in our directory. I live in the Windsor, in apartment 237. I'll be happy to answer any questions. Thank you.
In the Preston.
You said you lived in Windsor.
I did? I live in the Preston. And I'm proud of it.
Okay. We have several things going on today. If you didn't notice when you came in, I just want to point out, in the back of the room, our Sustainability Committee, which is a subcommittee of the Food Committee, has set up an educational set of tables back there and can answer all your questions about what is recyclable and what is not recyclable and show you what some of these things are. This has been being done, I think, at least once at the Chuck Chat, maybe twice. But we continue to have questions and we continue to have things put in the wrong place, so, or not at all. And so please, before you leave, we will have a happy hour afterwards, so help yourself to something to eat and drink, but go back there and take a look. And I know I'm constantly surprised that I'm making mistakes all the time because I'm not watching as closely. And so this is a great help to have that back there. Okay, now I'd like to turn your attention to the second handout that you have. These are the track the changes of the revised bylaws. And we're handing these out today because I promised you all when we voted on this that we would take it to an attorney and get the attorney, an attorney to look at it. We used Westminster's attorney, Kevin Reed, who is a very experienced nonprofit attorney, and has an expertise with these kind of bylaws. And it turns out that these bylaws have been looked at by attorneys before. As a matter of fact, Boyd Taylor is an attorney and had spent quite a bit of time during his tenure updating, revising, etc., the bylaws. But it really does make a difference to have someone with the expertise of working with these. Plus, there are constant changes being made, sometimes by the federal government, sometimes by the state government, that impact our ability to maintain our nonprofit status. And of course, it's very unique to most senior living facilities. Ours is so unique in that we are one of the few that exist that's a nonprofit. And so we're very fortunate to have Kevin Reed and his firm as the general counsel for Westminster. And we also very much appreciate the fact that he took a look at these. One of the things that happened when he took a look at it is there are all kinds of little things that that we had no idea about. For example, anytime you have a word with a capital on it, resident, member, etc., there has to be a definition in your bylaws, and we did not have that. So we took a shot at he having his staff, Kevin having his staff looking at it and trying to develop that for us, and it was incredibly confusing. So when I took the bylaws to the executive committee to look at them one more time before we brought them here, it was unanimous consent, and several conversations people had specifically about, we do not need to vote on these again, and the stuff that we're voting on is just really, really confusing. Well, in addition to that, I mean, that wasn't the half of the things that needed to be relooked at. And so we will be having another bylaw committee, I promise you, not until next year, to take up a number of recommendations of things that need to be clarified or need to be changed, need to be updated. So the only thing we updated in here were some spelling errors and the dates, and then tracked exactly the language that was handed out at the meeting where we voted on these bylaws. And so everything that's been changed in here is in red or blue, and if you have, you know, after this meeting is over, you won't be asked to vote on it again today. And I hope that it's helpful enough that, and done, well, I'm confident that this is done appropriately so that it doesn't need a vote. But the other things that will be looked at, we have things that kind of might get us into having the executive committee micromanage every expenditure. And so we really do need to update some things like that, set some thresholds, set some limits, where if you don't reach that amount, then it's up to the treasurer and the two people that sign and so forth. So I'm providing this to you and thanking Westminster and Ruth for this very expensive copy. This is, how much did you tell me, Chuck, a page this cost for these?
6 cents.
6 cents a page for these colored track the changes. And we do have some extra copies of it available. Should be some extra ones on the back table. If you have friends that you know couldn't be here today and you know that want one, pick up one for them. And then by request, we'll be judicious about this and make additional copies as people need them and want them. But this copy now, we'll delete the changes. We'll incorporate all these changes into just a regular document that is going to be posted on the portal, so that you won't have to worry about where to keep it or put it. You can just always go to the portal every time you want to look up, anything about the bylaws. So, if you do find something, or if you do see something, or if you want to make, input on changes and suggest changes and so forth, please do that in an email to me. And I will collect all of those, and then whatever we collect, I'll certainly share with the executive committee, and then we will share that with the new committee that gets appointed in January or so. Cynthia, did you have a comment?
I did, on page 4, section is 4.0, 4.1, which is in red. The overlay blocks what is the words underneath, which would certainly be nice to know.
Oh my goodness, I see that.
4.0.
Gotcha. Gotcha. I did not catch that this morning. Okay, her comment is under Article 4. If you go to Article 4, you flip the page over on the back of Article 4, 4.04.1, the track the changes portion overlays on the actual language. We will get that corrected. Thank you. Okay, anybody else? Please do, give me any additional comments or any additional ideas that you have for things that maybe should be in the bylaws. At one point, for example, every committee that we had was listed in the bylaws. Well, that meant that you had to have a bylaw change anytime you changed the name of a committee, or you decided you didn't need a committee anymore, or if you wanted to add a new committee. Now, as you can see, that was changed, not in this bylaw change, but previous bylaws changes. There's only the 2 committees in here now that have to be voted upon before we can eliminate them. So there's just little things like that if you see anything that you think you want to question or you would like to know more about or whatever, please email me. And is Mikhail Shackelford here today? She was going to be traveling anyway. Mikhail put in sweat, blood, and tears over this process, and she is an attorney and does have some experience with bylaws. Again, not nonprofit bylaws, but bylaws. And we could not have done this without her help, and we could not have done it without the numerous committees that were involved and worked on it, and then of course the overwhelming votes that we had on this when we accepted them. So, okay, I'd like to call on Cynthia Leach to give us a update on the ACC scholarship.
Good afternoon. My name is Cynthia Leach. I'm a 9+ year resident of the Windsor. I want to talk about the Austin Community College Foundation Scholarship that the WRA endowed at the end of 2021. It goes to students at ACC in the culinary arts and the healthcare areas, 2 areas that we'll always have a need for in the way of employment. I reported to you last time about the recipient of this year's scholarship. I think the biggest news I have is that we currently have a balance of $87,660.50. And that's all because of the WRA contributing, and also so many of you, and I really appreciate that. I'd like to see us get to 100,000 by the end of the year, so with your help, maybe we can. I have donation packets here if anybody's interested, or if you have any questions. I always like to say this too. People say, well, doesn't Chuck have a scholarship fund? Chuck has a scholarship fund that is reimbursing for current employees. It's separate and apart from this, has nothing to do with our scholarship at ACC Foundation. So I wanted to clarify that because there are many new people that may not understand exactly how that works. His is a reimbursement for current employees. This is for what we hope to be future employees someday, getting a good education at ACC. Thank you very much.
Sue Gilliam now is going to talk about our security necklaces and our angels.
Okay, I am Sue, and I'm sometimes known as the bead lady. I have a team who threads the beads for our security buttons, and are some of my beading angels here today?
There we go.
Okay.
Thank you.
And I know I've talked about this many times before, so I'm sure that there are almost all of you who are wearing okay. Now, is this you? I don't need my beads. I'm not going to fall. I haven't fallen yet, and I'm not going to fall. Oh. When you get up to pee in the middle of the night, do you ever stumble just a little bit? Or in the shower, you might slip. I, for one, do not ever take my beads off. I wear them in the shower, I wear them in bed. I do try to remember to take it off when I leave the campus. The beaded lanyards are free for everybody. Westminster buys the beads, and like I said, my angels thread them. You know, this really is a responsibility. It's a responsibility to ourselves, to our families, and it can be the difference between an easy recovery or a total incapacitability. So just think about it. How many people are wearing them more now than they were last time I talked?
You're making progress.
3 or 4. Come on, everybody. It's no big deal. Thank you.
Thank you, Sue. Okay, Tessa. And then the final item that I have is we're going to watch a short assisted living video. It has just been hot off the press. Boyd and Chuck and I got to see it literally today. I did today. I think Boyd has seen it and been working with you on it, Tessa. How many of y'all were able to attend the session on assisted living that was held this past week? All right? What did you think? Anybody have comments about it? I had several people tell me they learned a lot and were really impressed. So thank you for putting on this program, Debbie. Okay.
A little louder.
Hello, I'm Joe Sanchez. I'm the Director of Assisted Living and Memory Support.
I'm Angel Liskey. I'm Martin Manager of Assisted Living and Support.
What we do offer here at Westminster is helping our residents maintain their independence through offering them support by helping them with medication management, meals, they get snacks throughout the day. We do light housekeeping. This allows them to be able to do those things that they really enjoy in life instead of worrying about all the little things.
My name is Donna Davis. I am an activity assistant at the assisted living. My favorite activities here are the musical entertainment. Music really speaks to all the residents at some different place or time in their lives, and you can really connect with them through music. So I'm kind of the goofball in the room. I'm gonna burst into dance, and we're gonna have a really good time.
My name is Barbara Carlson, and my husband Jerry and I moved to Westminster and lived here for about 3 years. And we came here because he had Parkinson's, and we knew that he was going to need help before long. And it was a gift to have made that choice and to be here so he had a place to go when I could no longer take care of him. And so there's a team that sort of watches out for the issues that come up. And so it was such a good support for me and for Jerry too. He didn't actually know what was going on, but he knew that I was getting help, and that made me feel good.
Judy and I moved to Westminster in 2012, becoming some of the earliest residents in what was then the new Windsor building. And sometimes we wondered if we would ever need the health care and other extended care that Westminster offered. But we did. Kitty is now in the assisted living memory care, which offers a unique level of care for dementia and Alzheimer's, all tailored to their individual needs and capabilities. As my eyesight began to fail, I needed more attention and more help with the daily tasks that you don't really think about. Taking your medications, straightening your apartment, doing laundry, finding your remote control, or your hearing aids. What I have found is a community of people who enjoy the things they always enjoyed, but with added security.
Okay. Thank you, Tessa, for putting that together, and thank you, Lloyd. Okay, time for Chuck's Executive Director report.
Thank you much. I'll try turning this on, not hurting your ears this time. Is that okay? So it's April, and it's our anniversary month, so I thought, I did this in my chat, a few people were interested in it, and it's a pretty interesting story. It's kind of how Westminster started 58 years ago, April 1st. It opened with 12 employees and 3 residents. This guy, Harris Bell, which Harris Bell Hall is named for, was asked by the governor at the time to visit convalescent centers around Texas and to provide him a report on their condition. And he was so appalled that he came back to the Presbyterian church that was here at the time and said, I know what we need to do with that 3.2 acres at the south end of our campus. We don't need to build a baseball field, we need to build a retirement community. And so he donated $25 to register the idea with the Attorney General's office. And so there's a little pamphlet they created years ago that's called the $25 Miracle, and that's what Westminster started with. Phase 1 opened April 1st, 1967. In July of 1967, there was a 31-unit hospital located on the second floor. The first Residents Association meeting was held June the 12th, 1967. And Phase 2 opened December 22nd, 1975, so the Preston building's actually gone through 3 expansions itself. This addition added 80 units. The apartment total was brought to 225 units in 1975, plus a 31-unit hospital. And you can see here the phases of construction. So when I talk about Phase 4, which I'm now calling the completion phase, Westminster's been through a lot of phases over the years. Phase 3 in 1980 added 110 apartments, bringing the total in just the Preston building to 325 units. 75 and a 70-bed hospital, which was also located on the second floor, was expanded. Phase 4 added that little wagon wheel shaped building to the north, and this space in 1987 was opened with 90 units, which we called the Healthcare Center, became the Arbor after I took over in 2008. And the Westminster campus stayed that way until through 2011. And in 2012, Phase 1 of the Windsor opened to include 63 independent living apartments and 85 unit skilled nursing, 30 of which were dedicated to memory support, and a 22-unit assisted living. And we moved from the old building into the new building in 3 hours. We had breakfast in the old building, the old healthcare center, and we had lunch in the new healthcare center. There was a lot of tears, mostly tears of joy. And the residents that were in the healthcare center at the time, because of all the natural light they were getting from the windows of the new building, just perked up all of a sudden. And they were running around all over the place. It was hard to keep up with them for a while. Phase 2 of the Windsor opened in July 2013. That was what connected the Preston and the Windsor building. That created the pool, the bistro that we have today, and actually the bistro back then only had 42 seats. So it's gone through some expansions itself. In 2022, Westminster completed an expansion of the Windsor building, adding 18 IL units, independent living, and the wellness amenities in 2023. Westminster completed the Carlisle building, adding 43 independent living units and a 78-unit assisted living memory care. And so we really are extraordinary together. We've done a lot. Thank you for celebrating Spirit Week. How many of you participated in some way during Spirit Week? Proud. Thank you very much. So my next chat, which is on the 23rd, we'll be doing a drawing for some prizes, some gift cards, and like $500 off your monthly service fee, I believe. So at least 3 of those. I didn't tell Sarah about that, sorry. No big deal. So we'll be doing that drawing at the end of my chat. Got pictures of a few of the associates celebrating our Blue and White Day, Spirit Week, and residents as well. And Decade Day. That's how I dress on the weekend, so don't laugh too hard. It's a good look. Is the hairband too much? It might be. Animal Print Day, and I'm sorry that I missed this year's Blue Bond Festival, but it looked like everybody had a great time. We had a cupcake eating competition. Favorite Sports Team Day. Blue Bonnet Festival. Looked great. Maria did a great job as usual decorating. Thank you, Maria, for all the decorating you do around here. a good-looking animal print there, really. So the cupcake eating contest, I'm sorry I laughed a few times at this, so I did include a little video here. Gabby did. That must have been really dry cupcakes, that's all I have to say. A lot of drinking there.
We're at the halfway mark, folks. 2:30, you gotta hold it down too, man.
I wonder if the apple pie was easier than we did last time, right? You're about to see him. Matthew. Line ups right there at the end. 12. 12 cupcakes. He was the fastest. Next time we get the residents, right? Now you're smarter than that. Yeah. Agreed. So completion phase. How many have been bothered by the construction so far? No one? I told you. It's going to be great. How many knows that the construction hasn't started yet? Everybody in the room? Okay, good. What do you think we're waiting on? You know the answer to that? City permit. That's right. The permitting process has now officially taken 20 months. And the construction project's supposed to take 18. So I'll tell you that I haven't signed the GMP yet, the guaranteed maximum price, because I received it a week ago, and it was a little higher than I wanted it to be, than it was supposed to be, so we've done some negotiating. I now have it on my desk and ready to sign. I will sign it. I also poke the bear, as they say, and try to get the city to finally approve it. We're waiting on a guy that's reviewing the grease trap. So if you know anybody that works at the city and they deal with grease traps, tell them that there's a project called Westminster we'd really like to get approved. Hopefully we'll get that done. So I expect, though, White Construction is on site. They're putting together an office right now. There will be some construction activity starting up, construction fencing that'll be coming up. I've talked to you about this before, but I want to just mention again that we will not start earlier than 8 a.m. and we will be no later than 5 p.m. Monday through Friday, unless I send you a notice. That's the plan, okay? So we will be occasions where we have to do a concrete pour, and maybe the temperature outside's hot, it's 105 degrees, that's not a great time to pour concrete. You really want to do that in the morning when it's cooler, so I'll let you know in advance. I will be sending out updated schedules once we start, about every 2 weeks, with a little bit of a listing of what construction activities we'll be doing. And there will be a construction camera. Actually, it's already on site, and you'll be able to get to it from both the resident portal and the website. We'll probably add a second camera as well so that you can see the whole job. Access to amenity spaces such as Harrisville Hall, the library, the game room will be maintained as much as possible throughout the construction. During this initial work, the Laurel Dining Room and A Wing and part of the Preston Lobby will be under construction. So the first phase of this, we're going to keep A Wing first floor open for emergency purposes, so to get gurneys in to that elevator, but we really don't want residents to go through that. It will be an active construction area. Contractors will be going through there. Right now, they're allowing parking in the visitor parking garage between the Preston and the Windsor, but that will stop once construction starts. There is now visitor parking on the south side of Preston. There's visitor parking identified at the Arbor lobby. Also along the Mopac wall between Windsor and Carlisle, there are about 10 spaces there. And then marketing entrance has visitor parking as well. There is also valet service available 7 days a week from 11:30 to 8 p.m. at the marketing entrance. So that's by the flagpoles, okay? I did also ask for Easter valet services to begin at 10 o'clock. So they'll be here for your visitors as they come for Easter, okay? Hospitality suites are available. I think previously we promised coffee. That was a lie, and I apologize. We were unable to put coffee dispensers. They're just too big for those spaces, so we put the coffee in the solarium. There's also ice cream up in the solarium. Has everybody found that already? Yeah, a few of you. Okay. We stopped popping popcorn because every time we did, we set off the fire smoke alarm. We will try to get the smoke detector moved so that we can start popping popcorn again. But that takes a permit from the city, and it might, you read my mind, it might be 2029 before we get that permit. Just kidding. I think it's a little faster than that. There's relaxation rooms available as well. Hopefully you've not had to use these, but if you need to get away from the construction, maybe your apartment is right above the dining room, and during the demo process, it will be quite noisy. Like when they're chipping into the concrete to put a sink drain, that's going to be a little loud. If you're in the Preston during that process, it'll be difficult to get away from all of the noise and vibration. But we'll try to keep it to a minimum. That's the noisiest part of the project. It should last for a couple days. This is an example of the hospitality suites. They're very nice. You have a chance if you need fresh fruit. And you're looking for the fruit that's typically in the Laurel dining room. It is in the hospitality suites now. There's also other salty and sweet snacks. Overnight guest rooms are being reserved, though I don't expect the construction or demolition to be taking place after hours. There may be instances where you need to reserve a guest apartment, a guest room. Just contact reception and we'll help you set that up. Overnight guest room, this is an example. This is apartment 455. Very nice looking, nice guest rooms. Here's the 139, which used to be the Residence Association office, I believe. Apartment 207 is set up for a business center, so if there's construction in your area and you need a place to have a Zoom call or a small meeting, you can contact reception and reserve this space. This is a picture of accessibility. This will be placed on the portal. I just wanted to make sure that you're aware that we will be keeping, anybody see my pointer? I don't. Just wanted to let you know that we will be keeping this drive open for this first phase. So this driveway here. So if you need to get around the Preston, you can still use this space. And we'll keep all the egresses, the fire egresses, open as well. So the west courtyard is still going to be maintained, okay, as well the other entrances. And then there'll be a protected path from this wing, so from the stairwell out to the street. So if there was a fire, you can still use the fire stairwells. All of the fire exits will be maintained during this process. Now, there will be days that the fire exits sidewalk will be replaced. One of the things that we're doing in this project is ripping up the west sidewalk on the west courtyard at some point and regrading that whole area to make it ADA compliant. Also, I'll send out a notice anytime an exit's going to be shut down, okay? Now, the central courtyard is one of the very first things that exit will likely be shut down, especially coming out of A wing. We're going to try to maintain a small space out there outside of the Preston lobby that you'll still be able to use, but for the most part, that Preston courtyard is under construction because we get a corridor that's going to be built on the inside of that courtyard coming off of the Laurel dining room, okay? And I'll send this out to everybody via the portal, and copies will be available at the reception desk as well. Just a couple things. We did complete the completion phase financing. We closed before the bond market went up. Knock on wood. 4.71% is what we achieved, saving almost $1 million off the feasibility study. And we refinanced our 2016 bonds, reducing our maximum annual debt service by $500,000 a year. So this was a win-win for our community. Mr. McGee sent me an article just the other day that the interest rates have gone up a 0.5% or more. So good timing. We also received a deficiency-free financial audit. And Paul Hilgers, one of our board members, is receiving an Excellence in Governance Award at Leading Age Texas next month. And that's all I have. Thank you very much.
Okay. This last week was Chuck's birthday on Friday, and he hates this.
I do.
But we're gonna sing happy birthday to him. I thought he was just not being here to avoid us knowing about his birthday, but actually his daughter was competing in a gymnastics competition and actually won and is going to, is it regional or state?
Regional. Yes.
So he has to be off again to travel for, what is it, 3 or 4 days at a time for this competition. So,
Hot Springs, Arkansas is next.
oh Lord. Okay,
Instead of vacation.
all right.
I'm catching up with Westminster, I will tell you that, but I'm not quite as old as she is.
Okay, let's sing happy birthday.
Happy birthday
to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Chuck. Happy birthday to you. Bernie just pointed out to me that and I had it right here and didn't do it. Thank you, Bernie. Moment of remembrance. So we will close this out with having a moment of remembrance, silence, and then please go back and learn what you can about the recycling. So let us go into a moment of silence, please. Thank you. Thank you all for being here, and please enjoy the food and beverage and the demonstrations back there, and ask any questions you have about recycling. Thank you all.